Good afternoon, everybody. We're doing this virtual Memorial Day, first one that's ever been done. Normally these are, back in the day, they had Decoration Day where they decorated all the cemeteries and had all the memorial services in town. So we're back here. Okay, this time, all of you out there that are listening and watching it, please stand for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang out, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Christine. Now we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance by our first vice, Scott Parker.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Remain standing for, let us pray, Almighty God, giver of all victories. We thank thee for the opportunities which abide in our land, for thy guidance in the hour of peril and thy tender love in times of need. Help us to remember with reverence the valor and devotion of our departed comrades, not only those whose bodies consecrate our country's soil, but also those who sleep beyond the seas, and others whose resting places will not be known until that last day when the deep will be given up its dead. Oh God, teach us to honor them by ever cherishing the ideals for which they fought. Keep us steadfast in the cause of human rights and liberties, of law and order, and true Americanism. Give us the power to see and the will to do right. Grant that the American Legion may preserve the high ideals for which our comrades died. May thy merciful blessing rest upon those they left behind. Keep us forever firm in righteousness, humble of heart, and unselfish in purpose. Amen. Now, Sal Commander Mark Leonard will read Flanders Field.
In Flanders Fields by John McCrae. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the lark still bravely singing fly. scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, lived and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high, if ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep through poppies grow in Flanders fields. Thank you.
I can't see and breathe, so I'm lowering my mask here. The next in our program, when we have, out at the cemetery, is we'd have escorts to bring all these wreaths in. The first two to be brought in are the gold wreaths on each side of the tomb of the unknown soldier, designated as the Gold Star Mother and Father wreaths. The first Decoration Day, May 30th, 1868, Arlington Cemetery was where it was located. At the turn of the century, it was named a Memorial Day. On Memorial Day, we honor our fallen, but we must also embrace the feeling of honor, patriotism, and pride. 152 years ago have passed since drugstore owner in Waterloo, New York, encouraged businesses to close for one day to honor the soldiers who lost their lives during the Civil War. An idea that was well received. For one day, businesses closed. Widows placed fresh flowers on graves. Townspeople placed wreaths and crosses upon their headstones, and flags were flown at half-mast. It was then an American tradition was born. From the earliest days of American founding, our great nation has been blessed with generation after generation of patriots willing to lay down their lives in defense of our freedom and way of life. We are truly fortunate to live in a country worth fighting for, to be afforded a way of life worth dying for. Millions of men and women have selfishly answered the call of nations in need. Throughout our history, they fought for a myriad of reasons: to mend America's wounded spirit, to restore the strength of the free world, and to free the world from tyranny, oppression, cruelty, and evil. Today, we tribute to those heroic patriots who made the ultimate sacrifice, who bravely rose up and fought for something greater than themselves, protecting a home to which they never returned. We honor their service, mourn their loss, and remember the families they left behind. In the quiet stillness of this hallowed day, we must remember there has been no other nation on earth whose sacrifice has been greater than ours. None who have given so much to afford freedom for others. The sacred ground, Arlington, and our cemeteries in France, Belgium, Hawaii, the Philippines, remain a somber testament to the steep price of achieving and maintaining freedom around the globe. With heavy hearts, we recall those lost. They had names, they had families, they were brothers and sisters. We have some of those were grandparents and great-grandparents, or great uncles and great aunts. A lot of women served in the military through the wars. It is their ultimate sacrifice and the grief-filled tears of the parents who have given America their own children, and the spouses who are left to bear unthinkable burdens after their lives are forever changed, that have paid for the freedoms we enjoy today. In order to repay our debt to them, we must remain dedicated to honoring the legacy of our nation's fallen by educating all who believe Memorial Day is just another holiday, and by passing our knowledge along to the next generation so they may do the same. We must ensure the youth of tomorrow and understand the true cost of freedom. There is no greater way to honor the memory of those who have secured it. We honor the dead by helping the living and caring for those who have returned from their wars, serving with dedication and valor. Americans veterans deserve proper medical care and compensation for their many sacrifices for our country. They deserve the opportunity for employment, education, and a home in which to live. Please don't wish me happy Memorial Day. There is nothing happy about the brave men and women dying. It's not a holiday, it is a remembrance. I appreciate that you're here now and at home and understand the true meaning. Don't tell me how great any one political power is. Tell me about Chester Puller, George Patton, John Basilone, Dakota Meyer, Kyle Carpenter, Mitchell Page, Ira Hayes, and perhaps Chris Kyle. Each of us today must leave a renewed commitment to do all we can to help those who've done so much for us and ask for nothing in return. As we depart, we will undoubtedly continue to bear the burden of loss that comes with losing a family member, friend, one of our brothers and sisters and grandparents or great uncles, but may find comfort in knowing their lives were not lost in vain. Remain forever grateful to them for having gifted us the greatest gift of all, freedom. Let us not forget any of those people going back through all the wars. If it wasn't for them, our grandparents, all the families, we wouldn't be what we are today, a free country. God bless America's fallen, God bless our troops, and God bless America. Land of the free, home of the brave. At this time, if we're out at the cemetery, we would, the Gold Stars would be presenting the roses of remembrance. They are at this time already placed on the tomb, unless we ever forget them. I was going to say one thing while I was looking for the next part of the readings here. Is the first, in the early 1900s, they had a parade in town, and all the cemeteries were all decorated. And in the parade, there was more than just this one group, but they're called the GAR. They're the Great American Revolution. And they are what we would call now Sons of Legionnaires. They're there honoring their families, and they marched up what they call Water Street, which is now Commercial Street, and it was really a big thing back then. They're celebrating everything. Now, not yet put off. I'm going to start off with the reading of the Gold Stars and Families. Freeman Parker, great-nephew Scott Parker, great-great-nephew Jameson. Vietnam War, Alan Barnett, Huey T. Maxim, Daniel E. Lloyd. In El Salvador, Sergeant Douglas Lee Adams. The Desert Storms in Iraq, the first one, Sergeant David Mitz, Sergeant Brian Browning, Sergeant Ryan Walker, Sergeant James Matthew Trieber, and Staff Sergeant Stephen Hugo. I'm going to continue on with the names of those killed in action in World War I, or the Great War, from Clatsop County. We have a mock-up of a marker that we're going to get placed hopefully at the Doughboy Monument, which has all the names on it. And on the back of that is a listing of close to 300 names. It's over here, and those names are almost 300 that served from Clatsop County. So there was a big turnout for, and we can now read the names here. And, okay. Peter Eglin, Joshua Alderson, Walter Baker, Albert C. D'Elia, Robert Denver, Carl DeVigas, Robert Ford, Hyundai Shelby, Chris Johnson, Earl Johnson, Lila Johnson, Edwin Kelly, John Lacko. While I'm on that name, he also served in the Spanish-American War and then was killed in action in World War I. Louis Larson, Guy Larson, Louis Larson, Gerald Malarkey, Frank Mitchell, Benny Mortensen, Edward Malati, William Nelson, Freeman Parker, Anton Pearson, Christian Peterson, Age Emil Peterson, must be Aggie, Fred Ellsworth Prosser, Gudmund Rogenus, Louis Simonson, Guttorm Stormark, George Finn, Holden Vaughn, Murray Wheat, D.R. McDonald, Charles Abercrombie. I don't have all the names listed, but they're all marked downstairs, and there was a total of 64, approximately 64 from Clatsop County that were killed in action out, in combat. We also have four Baton Death Marchers. One of them came home, but their names are Lieutenant Anderson, Robert Metley, Robert Wendland, and J.H. Hansen, Jr. There's another one here, Seaborg. He escaped and came back. This time, could you light the candle? There were also several POWs enlisted in action. Some of the a lot of the families still live locally here, from pilots to combat infantrymen anyway, so that we can have a salute to POWs and MIAs. Please, salute. Well, I think I'm going to read off this list. This is all the memorial wreaths. They're all in order, basically the way I call them here. First wreath is killed in action in all wars and conflicts. Clatsop Post 12. Clatsop Unit 12. Junior Unit 12. Clatsop Squadron 12. Daughters of the American Legion. Daughters of the Union Veterans of the Civil War. Voyager 547. Kibani 547. Charles Abercrombie, Post 371, was this post at one time. Fort Stevens Post 10580, VFW. And in memory of the Doughboys, in memory of Pearl Harbor, the Marine Corps League, in memory of POWs and MIAs, the Sunset Division of Company L, USS Astoria, YMS 425, Military Officers Association of America, in memory of veterans' families, Loyal Order of the Moose, Fraternal Order of the Elks, American Merchant Marine, and the Fleet Reserve Pacific Council 309. At this time, would you all stand for the singing of taps? That includes you at home.
Day is done, gone the sun, from the lake, from the hills, from the sky. All is well, safely rest. God is nigh, fading light dims the night, and a star gems the sky, gleaming bright. From afar, drawing nigh, falls the night. Thanks and praise for our days
Thank you, Chris Lynn. One thing I forgot before we go into the don't watch me shuffle. Okay, what I have here, we already did post everlasting on Armed Forces Day. No, I'm just gonna read all the names again because we made a mistake and missed some names. Donald Abrams, Ray Chisholm, Calvin Brown, Robert Cummings, Thomas Dean, Eddie Logston, Donald Risenen, Harry Ream, Lawrence Beamer, Frederick A. Stinson turned 100 years old on January 1st, and he was World War II Navy Seabees. And we have, most current one was Donald Hoyer. He was a 69-year member of this post, World War II U.S. Navy, also post commander 59 to 60, and past commander District 1 in the American Legion 62 to 63. And Anthony Stromiello was a 75-year member, and he was in the World War II U.S. Navy. And Ray Strobel, 62-year member, Korean War veteran. Now I have the ladies of our auxiliary that passed in the last year. Betty Chilson, Muriel Dunn, Lynn Rislow, Daphne Scott, Gloria Shane, and Jean Kwasnick. God bless them all. Okay, now we'll have the sing along at home too, please. We'll be able to hear you. And the other thing is, there was a request by the national commander for anybody and everybody at dusk on Memorial Day to put some lit candles on your porch. It was received from the national commander. Okay.
And God bless America.
God bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountain to the prairies, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you very much. Well, that concludes our, oh yes, we have one. We have our benediction. by John Barrier.
I find an old photograph and see your smile. As I feel your presence anew, I am filled with warmth and my heart remembers love. I read an old card sent many years ago during a time of turmoil and confusion. The soothing words written then still caress my spirit and bring me peace. I remember who you used to be, the laughter we shared, and wonder what you have become. Where are you now? Where did you go when the body is left behind and the spirit is released to fly? Perhaps you are the morning bird, singing joyfully at sunrise, or the butterfly that dances so carelessly on the breeze, or the rainbow of colors that brightens a stormy sky, or the fingers of afternoon mist delicately reaching over the mountains, or the final few rays of the setting sun lighting up the skies, edging the clouds with a magical glow. I miss your being, but I feel your presence in whatever form you choose to take, however you now choose to be. Your spirit has become for me a guardian angel on high, guiding, advising, and watching over me. I remember you. You are with me, and I am not afraid.
Thank you. Well, that concludes our program.